Hello, online Math A students. I'd like to take you on a little video tour of MyMathLab so that you can get started right away. First, you're going to need to go to the MyMathLab website, and here on my browser, I have a link to the MyMathLab course, and on the registration instructions document, you have the address of where to go to get to this account, and then you'll have a username or password of your own so that you can get into the course. And the course that you're going to be signing up for is S17 for Spring 17, Online Math A, the CRN, the CR College course number is 44439, and then the MyMathLab course ID is Hill 86814. So it's kind of a long name for the course, but all that information is there in the name of the course then. So once you click and get into the course, then I wanted you to see that there's buttons. So I've actually named them button number 1, button number 2, because they don't really look like buttons to me. And I've been teaching online for quite a while, and so I'm always trying to make the class clearer to the students. So this little symbol on my screen right now means you are not going to see this button. This is an instructor button, but you will see button number 1 homepage, and this is what will open each time you log into MyMathLab. So this is the home page or home screen, and this is a really important screen, so notice it each time you log in. Don't just zip past. So the most important thing here is this calendar. This is a calendar ribbon that has the days of this week. So today is Sunday, January 22nd. And it's recommended that you become familiar with the exercise area and start practicing entering answers so that you'll be prepared to get the orientation assignment due tomorrow on Monday. If you'll notice, I have due dates each day of the week. This is how I organize the course. Different instructors do it differently. If you want to do all your work on the weekends, you're going to have to work ahead and get all of this work done on Sunday the 22nd and Saturday the 21st if you want to work over the weekend. You're not going to be able to wait until the following Saturday and do all the work, because then it will all be late and we'll only get 75%. So you can do it that way, but you're really hurting your grade. So each of these little icons shows what's due on that date. So you can see which homework assignments are due by the blue dots and which quizzes are due by the little gold boxes. So please do run this browser check the first time that you come into the software on any new machine. So each computer that you go to use, you need to make sure and run the browser check so that all of the parts of MyMathLab will work properly. So the next button you're going to see is button number 2. This course tools is, again, instructor tools. So you're going to see button number 2, click here to begin, and this is where the course documents are. So I've sent to you all these course documents also, but I want them to be available to you inside the software as well. So the welcome letter you already received, the MyMathLab instructions, hopefully you followed so you get here to MyMathLab. And then the step-by-step instructions of the course. This is a long document, and I put it together for people who like to follow step-by-step instructions. But if that's not you, that's fine. You don't need to read it, but you might want to look through it just to see if there's anything helpful for you there. But this video basically includes all the same information. So then we have the syllabus, and I'm going to make a separate video about the syllabus so I can go through it in detail. And then there's a course calendar, and it would be a really good idea to print out this course calendar and have it handy. Students often find that at the beginning it's hard to remember the deadlines and due dates until you get into the rhythm. It takes a few weeks, so be patient with yourself while you're trying to learn this new class and how to do it and get into a rhythm that works for you of when to do your work and so on. So button number 3 is where all the learning help is available, and I would strongly recommend that, for instance, if you're starting the homework for Chapter 2, Section 2.1, that you look through the textbook and maybe the video, and there's section video lectures, and some of the sections have PowerPoint slides available for taking notes and for learning. So if you say find now, it will show you that there's a textbook section for this chapter 2, section 1. And there's also a section video lecture. It's only 11 minutes long, and most students find it really helpful to watch some kind of instruction or go through some kind of learning tool like the PowerPoint slides before trying to work on the homework. So that's why I have this learning help here in line in the buttons before you get to the homework, because that's my suggestion of the order that you work in. So button number 4 is where you're going to go to do all your work. All the assignments are here. They're not all visible to you yet. So the ones with the green flags are visible, have prerequisites, I'm sorry. Only the ones I've assigned so far are visible. So I didn't show them all at the beginning because it'd be a little overwhelming. So there are a lot of assignments in this class to get through the 16 weeks, but we can do this. Lots of students get this done if they work really hard and are really determined. So this button here, all assignments, if you just want to see your homework assignments, you can sort by homework, or if you just want to see the quizzes and tests, you can sort that way, or you can see all of your assignments. It's great if you will use the all assignments button so that you can see the sequence that I'm suggesting you work in. And the assignments seem a little out of order at first. We're looking at 21 through 40, so in fact I need a page back, and here you can see the first page of assignments in order. So the first one is an orientation assignment, and that's simply to get used to working in MyMathLab. If you've used it before, this will go really quickly, but do take some time to make sure that you're comfortable with how to put answers in MyMathLab. It's pretty picky, not very forgiving. Then if there's a green flag on the assignment and you hover over it, it will tell you that there's a prerequisite for this assignment. So it says you can't start on section 1.1 until you've finished at least 70% of the orientation assignment. So you can't go in any order you like. You kind of have to go in the order I'm specifying because you can't get to section 1.2 until you finish section 1.1. So I made all of the quizzes this time where you get an infinite number of tries and no time limit. So I'll be interested to know what you think about that. I decided I didn't want people to feel like they had time pressure, and I'd be thrilled if you redo and redo and redo the quiz until you get 100%. So in fact, that would be my recommendation. So I don't want to discourage you from doing that by put some specified number of attempts. So you can do it as many times as you like until the due date. So you can see that all my due dates are 11:59 p.m. if you scroll down here and look through. And the due day is the first part and the date, and then they're all 11:59 p.m. to try and make it crystal clear of which day they're due. So homework assignments are due Monday through Fridays, and there's quizzes on Tuesdays every week. So button number 5 is where you're going to come after you've done a quiz and you want to see, how did I do? So you see your grades here, so you'll always be able to see your grade. Here is your grade percent. I haven't done any work yet, so mine's 0. If you want to see what that's made up of, you can show calculation and see the details. What's your percent of homeworks and quizzes and mastery demonstrations and on your final exam? And you can also see on these bar graphs how you're doing, and you can see how much time you've spent. So that's something to keep an eye on to make sure you're spending enough time to do your best work. So button number 6 is an optional button. It's called a study plan, and it's personalized as you're working through homework and quizzes. The software is paying attention to which problems took you a longer time and which ones you had to do more times before you got them correct, and making a little study guide for you of things that you need extra work on. So these are very brief. If you look at this Quiz Me, it's just a quick question or two, and then you can move on. So this one has 3 questions. So they're very quick, but the idea is to just help you review. So that's a good way to just keep your skills fresh also. Button number 7 is important. Every week there will be discussion board posts due, and you're not going to be able to see all of them yet. I open them up 1 week at a time. So right now all you can see is the week 1 discussion board post, and those need to be accessed and commented on by Thursday midnights. And then every Monday midnights will be your comments to your fellow students due. So keep that in mind. Every Thursday, get your discussion board post done, and every Monday, get your comments done for your classmates. So this is a requirement for online courses that we have a discussion board. And so I try and pick some interesting topics, and hopefully you'll find them thought-provoking. So the first one, of course, is always to introduce yourselves. So share whatever you're comfortable sharing with. Lots of students tell us about their pets, their family, their job, or anything else that they think might help them find a kindred spirit in the class. So feel free to make your introduction as long as you like, and you can include pictures. So button number 8 is going to be movies that I make, and you can see that there's already some in here. These are videos that other students have asked me to make, so I collect them here. So for instance, when you get to the bookcase problem, you'll know which one I mean, but I've already made this video about the bookcase problem that many students said was really helpful in helping them get through that problem. Number 9 is advice from previous online students, so feel free to take a few minutes to look through that before you start if you like, but you'll see that one of the discussion boards is going to ask you to go find a comment that resonates with you and tell us about why. These are literally copy and pasted from my students from last semester, so I find it very helpful for students to tell other students what is a good practice for this class. Then we have button number 10, which is my website that I maintain. Your class won't use it a lot, but it has things like the academic calendar and graph paper, so if you would find that helpful, that's available as a button. Then there's lots of extra resources here that are from the publisher, the chapter contents, and there's little extra videos, and most students tell me that this is just extra stuff that they don't really use, but I wanted it to be available for you if you find you want more resources. So there's Blitzer bonus videos, a learning guide, student success things. So if you would find those helpful, feel free to use them, but you can see I didn't even give them button names because I didn't put them there. They're from the publisher, and you can use them if you find them helpful. So I'm going to make another brief video about the syllabus. So that's all I have for now about this MyMathLab course and how it's set up and how you get through it. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm always happy to answer questions.